Hello students, welcome to another video on Maharashtra MBA CET 2026. In this video, I'm going to share a topic list with you, which will help you to be ready for anything and everything. And it will put you on right track to score a 99.9x percentile in this exam. In my last video, I have shared the MBA CET story in which I've spoken about the hiccups and what all happened in the past CET papers so that you can project the upcoming CET in a better way. Do consider watching that video to understand what I'm talking about. But please know that the bottom line is the paper is very unpredictable and it is not as easy as it appears. So you need to cover every topic in the topic list, which I'm going to present to you in some time. And if you're a very serious student, please cover the entire bandwidth. Then only you can be ready for anything and everything. Because there are too many variables involved in the CET exam. It depends on which slot you will get. And as a serious student, you cannot keep things on fate. You need to be ready. And the only way you can be ready is by covering every topic in the topic list. So let's get on to that. This is the pattern of the exam. You can have a quick look at it. This is a quick table for you to understand the past CET papers. It has got three important milestones. 100 marks equals what percentile, 99 percentile and 99.99 percentile equals what score. This table shows the score versus percentile data for each of the 6 slots last year's paper. This will tell you which slot was difficult, which slot was easy, in which slot, what score will get what percentile. All of this can be extracted out of this table. But coming to what we want to discuss today, that is the topic list. Now this list I've prepared basis my in-depth analysis of the past CET exams. So let's start with logical reasoning. Now logical reasoning, you will have 75 questions if they decide to follow the standard pattern. Again, the real pattern may be different from the standard pattern. Again, to understand this, please watch my last video where I've spoken about the MBA CET story. You'll understand all of it. Why am I saying that the real pattern and the standard pattern, there could be a difference? But anyways, 75 questions of logical reasoning, that includes critical reasoning as well. CR. Let's first talk about the logical reasoning topics. Series, number series, letter series, alphanumeric series, logical decryption, also known as coding decoding. Within coding decoding, there are 4 variants. You have the traditional variant, you have the new variant, you have the instruction variant, and you have the Chinese variant. So there are 4 variants that you need to master within logical decryption. And then you have machine questions, also known as input-output questions, also known as sequential output tracing questions. These 3 topics have a synergy between them. So again, you should be doing these 3 topics in tandem. Then counting logics, it is tested in the form of the distance variant and the string variant. Sometimes also tested in the form of the rank variant. But here I've kept it as a separate topic altogether, rank and order logics. Questions on logical inequalities. Questions on deductive logic, syllogisms and reverse syllogisms. Blood relations and family tree. This topic can come either in the form of a single question or in the form of a puzzle set. Direction sense. Then these are your puzzle categories. You have linear arrangements. Again, it can come in the form of singles or in the form of a set. Any form of linear arrangement. It could be a floor-based question, arrangement of boxes, in any form which is associated with linear arrangement. Then closed arrangements, which is kind of an extension to linear arrangement, but this time you need to arrange in a closed diagram, as in it could be a circle, could be a square, could be a triangle, could be a pentagon, could be a hexagon. So any form of closed arrangement. Then you have multi-variable puzzles, which are also known as matrix puzzles. For example, let's say there are 5 students and they like one of the 5 subjects and they have 5 cars of 5 different brands. So you need to associate the student with the subject that they like and the car brand that they have. So that kind of association is tested in a matrix puzzle or a multi-variable puzzle. Then you can have puzzles based on distribution, combination, grouping, and selection. You can have numerical puzzles. This is very, very similar to data interpretation, DI caselets. Then you can have hybrid puzzles. A hybrid puzzle is a mixture puzzle. For example, a linear arrangement mixed with family tree, or a circular arrangement mixed with multivariable puzzles, or a multivariable puzzles mixed with some numerical data points. So again, that is what I mean by a hybrid puzzle. Then we have cubes, cuboids, calendars, clocks, selection criteria, and data sufficiency. Logical reasoning based data sufficiency. So this is the list of topics under logical reasoning, core logical reasoning. Now coming to critical reasoning, you'll have to start with the argument structure and component identification. You should be very clear about what a premise is, what a conclusion is, what assumptions are. Then the most important topic of critical reasoning is logical assumptions, followed by strengtheners and weakness. Then implicit assumptions, courses of action, strong and weak arguments. Please note that strengtheners and weakness is not same as strong and weak argument. These are two different topics. Then evaluation of inferences into 4 categories: probably false, probably true, definitely false, definitely true. You can have hybrid CR or mixed CR, wherein they can give you one paragraph and they can ask varied CR questions on it, as in what is a probable cause, or what is the conclusion, or what is the premise. They can ask you those questions. Those are called mixed CR questions. Then cause effect or assertion reason questions, causal reasoning, facts, inferences, and judgments. So this is the entire gamut of critical reasoning topics. LR and CR together, you will be ready for 75 marks. Okay. So every topic which is present here is important to you. If you want to be extremely confident about your preparation, when you go into the exam hall, if you want to feel extremely confident, every topic in this list should be covered. Okay. Now coming to abstract reasoning section. So previously what used to happen, they used to test only 3 question types under abstract reasoning: series, analogy, similar and dissimilar pair. But in the last 2 years, they have been testing on more varieties. That's the reason I've included every possible type in the list. So let's see. First is series, last figure missing. Series, middle figure missing. Series, where they have first and last as fixed. Odd diagrams, dissimilar pair, similar pair, visual puzzles, analogy, paper cutting and folding, figure completion, counting diagrams, Venn diagrams, the visual aspect of it, embedded diagrams, cubes and dice, mirror and water images, rule detection. Then you can have miscellaneous types such as dot situation, diagram formation. So every topic needs to be covered. Okay, apart from the main 3 topics, which is series, similar pair, dissimilar pair, analogy, the other will not take a lot of time, just that you need to cover 5-6 examples of each type so that you're comfortable on that particular type. For example, let's say you practice only the 3 major types, and in the exam you get a question on rule detection or dot situation. And since you have not practiced any question on that particular type, you won't be comfortable about it. So again, every topic needs to be covered because they have been testing this in the last 2 years, and we don't know what will happen in the future. What will come in the paper. Okay. Again, to understand what I'm saying, why am I saying CET is very unpredictable? Why am I saying CET, the syllabus which is present on the CET Cell website, it's not very useful? Why am I giving you this topic list? I want you to be ready for anything and everything. I'm repeating this again and again, that be ready for anything and everything, because that is what is expected out of you in this paper. So abstract reasoning, 25 questions, 25 marks. Coming to the next section, which is quantitative aptitude and data interpretation. This also includes data sufficiency and data comparison, if in case they decide to throw some questions of those types in the paper. But this collectively will be of 50 marks, 50 questions. Under quantitative aptitude, the core block is arithmetic. Everything else I'm categorizing it as non-arithmetic topics. Arithmetic is the major chunk of the core quantitative aptitude part. Under arithmetic, you should be very comfortable with calculations and simplification. Then comes the percentage block. Under the percentage block, there are 4 topics you need to master: percentages, profit, loss, markup, discount, simple and compound interest, and installments. These 4 topics together, we'll call it the percentage block. Then these 4 topics, we'll call it the ratio block. So ratio, proportion, variation, time, work, efficiency, time, speed, distance, and partnership. Averages, weighted averages and mixtures, will call it the average block because these topics are based on averages. And miscellaneous topics such as stocks and shares or ages, though ages can also be described under algebra, but I'm keeping it here. So each of these topics need to be covered, and arithmetic is very important, so it goes without saying ye to karna hi karna hai aapko. Then coming to non-arithmetic topics, you can have questions on numbers, divisibility, factors, HCF, LCM, remainders, factorials, etc., etc. Sequences and series, progressions and summation. Basic algebra, you should be comfortable with equations, linear equations, quadratic equations. Geometry and mensuration. Specifically, mensuration is more important in CET than core geometry, as in triangles, circles, polygons. उससे ज़्यादा important आपके लिए यहाँ पे cubes, cuboids, cylinder वो सब होने वाला है. Permutations and combinations and probability, important for CET. After arithmetic, if I have to give second rank to some topic, that has to be probability. And for probability, you will need permutation combination. Then set theory, basic set theory is needed. Then you can have miscellaneous questions on statistics, heights and distances. Though heights and distances is a part of geometry itself, but again, I'm calling it a different topic so that you put some focus onto this topic as well. Now, I have not included any nonsense topic here because in the past, there have been years where they have asked questions on differentiation, integration also in the paper. But again, that was a hiccup from their side. In that year, basically, they could not differentiate between MBA CET and MCA CET. That is very unlikely to happen in any of the CET papers in the future. So I've not mentioned those topics because if I mention those topics, then we're not preparing for aptitude. फिर आप engineering की तैयारी यहाँ पे शुरू कर दोगे, right? Which is what we are not doing. As a part of this section, we also have DI, DS, DC. DI stands for data interpretation, DS stands for data sufficiency, DC stands for data comparison. So data interpretation could be based on data diagrams, or it could be based on arithmetic themes. When I say arithmetic theme, there could be a DI set which consists of 5 questions on TSD. So there would be a TSD story in the form of a set, and they'll ask you 5 questions on it. So that is what I mean by an arithmetic theme. Data sufficiency, mostly it is based on arithmetic, but it could be out of any of the quant topics. Then data comparison, there are 2 types of data comparison questions. One is the general data comparison, other is quadratic root based. So this gives you every topic that you need to prepare in the quantitative aptitude, data interpretation, data sufficiency, data comparison section. Coming to the next section, which is the verbal ability and reading comprehension section. This is again of 50 marks, 50 questions. This is dominated by grammar and vocabulary. So you should be very, very comfortable with grammar and vocabulary. More than comprehension, grammar and vocabulary is important here. Though there have been situations in the past where some slot had 20 to 22 RC questions as well. So again, having a good balance is needed. So what are the topics under this section? Grammar, parts of speech and parts of sentence, sentence correction and improvement. You should be comfortable with spotting errors and fixing errors. There have been questions in the past on correct spellings, questions on analogies, questions on idioms and phrases. Fill in the blanks, could be grammar based, could be vocabulary based, could be context based, which is also called as sentence completion. Close test, vocabulary based questions, direct questions such as synonyms or antonyms. You can have questions based on vocabulary, but in the form of match the following. It has happened in the past. These questions usually take a lot of time to understand because the question instruction is very complex at times. Paragraph jumbles, sentence rearrangement, para completion, para starters, danglers, para summary or essence, para continuation or last lines, then at last reading comprehensions. So this is the entire list for verbal ability and reading comprehension. So this is the topic list that you should consider as the official topic list. This is what you need to prepare for. And if you are comfortable in each of these topics, then you can be pretty much confident about anything which might happen in the paper, right? I am going to talk about each of these sections in depth in dedicated videos. But in this particular video, I just wanted to talk about the topic list so that you have a syllabus in mind and you are not fooled by the syllabus which is present on the CET Cell website, which is very vague. They have not mentioned which topics can be tested or which have come in the past. There's no list there. It's a very general worded syllabus which they have given here. But the true reality is you should be ready for anything and everything. Again, I'm repeating anything and everything. And that can only happen if you cover all these topics. I hope this gives you more clarity about your preparation.